So this is my first little phase of coding for my game, Earth Defense. The first step I had to take was to pick this background here. So to do that, I just went to the backdrops and clicked this little choose a backdrop section, and I scrolled through until I found the one that was most suitable for me, which was this space one. Just going back. So that's the backdrop sorted. It was quite easy. The turret here, I simply just painted it myself, so you can go choose a sprite and then paint, and then of course you're left with a whole bunch of options, and I ended up doing that one there, which was my finished product, as you can see. Now for the coding for this main sprite, the turret, I needed it to go side to side, and then when the space button was pressed, I needed to shoot a laser, but I'll get to the shooting part in a second. So before we start down on the side-to-side aspect, I had to make sure that once the game was started, the sprite would start in the middle here, ideally, and pointing in the direction of 90 degrees, which is facing as it is. So to do that, I simply chose a when start button is clicked from the events panel, and then I went up to motion and I entered in go to with the x coordinate of 0, which is the x axis this way, and a y coordinate of negative 158, which is just down the bottom here. Now that that's done, when I press the start button, you'll see it automatically jumps to that middle position. Now for the left and right movement, I decided to go with the left arrow and right arrow for the controls. So simply when the left arrow is pressed, I got a event block from here when space key is pressed, and I changed that to be left arrow, as you can see here. I wanted it to change the x coordinate by negative 30. Now originally I had negative 10, but I found that this was too slow, so I had to change it to negative 30 to get this movement. And then you'll also see here I put an if on edge, then bounce. So whenever it hits the edge here, it's going to bounce back. I'll just show you right now. See, this is me pressing the left button. As you can see, it doesn't go past the left area. Now I did the exact same with the right arrow, but you'll see I also put a point in direction 90 degrees here, because I ran into a bug that I found, which would be when I didn't have this, for example, I'll just take it away. If I hit the right area, it would flip my sprite upside down, and I couldn't work out for the life of me why it did. It auto-corrected back on this other side, but as soon as it goes over to the other side, it's no good. So I put a point in direction 90, and you'll see it auto-corrects now, and I don't have that problem anymore. Now, for the laser shooting, I had to actually put the space key button on the laser because it's the one that's actually going to be doing the movement. So I had to create my little laser sprite. I did the exact same thing. I just went choose a sprite and painted a short little red line. Now, with this laser, I wanted to make sure that when the start button was clicked, that the laser would stick to where the turret sprite is, and I wanted to make sure it was hidden so that no one could see the laser until I wanted it to be shot, pretty much. So just like the turret sprite, I put in a go to x coordinate of 0 and y of 158, and then I just dragged in one of these hide blocks from the little looks tab. See down there, hide, and this just makes it so once you hit space, the laser is actually hidden underneath where the turret is. Now, when it comes to actually shooting the laser, I just wanted to make it so the space key was pressed. You can see there, when space key pressed, I got that from the events thing. And then I have go to turret, which actually makes the laser itself go to the position of the turret no matter where he is. So it could be over here, and it will jump to follow him. And then I clicked show, obviously because it was hidden before, I want it to show itself, so you can actually see the laser physically. Now this bit here, this is a control tab. So I have repeat until, and then touching edge. So the sensing button here, there's a little touching edge. So touching, it says touching mouse pointer currently, but I just dragged one of these in and clicked touching edge, and just dragged that into this little top part. So it'll repeat this until it touches the edge, and what it's going to be repeating is changing the Y by 10. So this means it'll actually be going up to the very top of the screen. So once I click the space button, it should click, and then it'll go up to the top of the screen. Now, before I had this little hide button in here, you'll see what happens. I press it, and it stays up the top there. So I need to drag this hide button up here, and once I click it, it disappears up the top. So it goes side to side and shoots. So that's the first section, and I'll make another one for the second.